sound silly, but is it always the goal to get to the quarterback, or are there quarterbacks that you just want to keep in front of you out of curiosity?
Well, it's not silly because the really mobile guys, we have a saying, sometimes 90% is better than 100% when you get around those really mobile guys, because if you're going so hard, those guys can feel you coming, and they're really quick, and you may miss them. So, but we still want to get to them. Yeah.
The depth on this defensive line, how much you guys are rotating up front. You don't miss a beat when the second team D-line goes in. Have you ever experienced anything like that in your coaching career, whether it was assistant coach, head coach?
I have, but and I've been blessed that way, that been around some really good groups. Not maybe quite as deep as this one, but, I think whenever you can rotate guys, it's kind of almost like the lines in hockey. They ask them to go as hard as they can for 2 minutes. As we try to ask our guys to go as hard as they can, and then they know up front that you're going to get a rush. There's nothing more exhausting in football than rushing the passer.
You have guys that would be on that second team line that probably be starting at the majority of programs across the country, like Nick Bosa, Jalen Holmes, Robert Landers. Is that accurate? Do you feel like those guys are pretty much starters?
Well, we feel like anybody who goes on the field for us is a starter, and you better play like it. But yes, I do. I think we're very fortunate to have some really quality, and they're young, and they're only going to get better.
Greg, it seems like you guys are getting such consistent pressure with your front four that you really haven't had the need to blitz much. Is that accurate?
I think, that would be pretty accurate. Yeah, I think when you look at it, if you can get there with 4, then don't risk bringing 5 because you get another guy in coverage. But I do think you always have to bring a little bit of pressure to make people, to keep them honest with their protections.
And that's basically what you've done, as opposed to bringing guys because you had to, just to get a different look?
That'd be a pretty accurate assessment, yeah, and it's a good place to be.
How rare is that?
You're happy when you can do it. Yeah.
What do you see in Michigan State, Coach?
I see a team that, and again, I only watch the offense now,
right.
so I couldn't tell you anything else, but and some special teams too. But offensively, I see a team that has really quality skill players. They've been beat up a little on the offensive line, but they're a dangerous offensive football team. You look at them, even with all the injuries they've had, they're in the middle of the pack or higher in every offensive category. So it's a productive offense, and one that we really need to play well against to have success.
Yeah, their power run game, the way that Scott can, after contact, continue to move the ball down the field. When you coach your secondary, how big a factor are they in run support, in particular this week because of yardage after contact?
Yeah, without a doubt. And as a secondary, especially when you're the safety, the name is for a reason. You're the safety. You got to get them on the ground, otherwise it's a big play. They do a lot of motions and shifts, which are going to demand our guys to really be on point, getting aligned. They get you aligned once, and then they make you realign, and then they do all that to distract you, so then they can run the ball down your throat or throw deep passes because you mess up their coverage. So we're really going to have to be on point, but that's what the opponent's given us this week.
The year Marshawn Lattimore's having, real quick, I know he came in as a big-time recruit, redshirted the first year, played a little bit last year. He's really having a breakout year. I know this is your first year with him, Greg, but is this kind of what you expected out of him, and just what are you seeing out of Marshawn this year?
Well, what I saw from him in the spring and in the training camp, I was really hopeful that this is what he'd do. I mean, he certainly showed that capability in those 2 periods of time, and he's playing great. So we just got to keep him going.
Have you noticed anything this week maybe different around here? I know obviously Michigan is the big one around here in terms of rivalry, and this is your first season at Ohio State, but Michigan State beat Ohio State last year. Have you noticed anything change as far as the attitude or the players, like, we need to get this one because of what happened a year ago?
I don't know so much if it's what happened a year ago as much as the position we're in right now. We need to, if we want to reach our goals, we need to play well and win this game. So I think that's really what's motivating and pushing people forward. Now, I can't speak to the fact of what happened last year because I wasn't here.
Right, yeah.
Urban said that he considers all 4 of you guys in the defensive meeting room to be coordinators. Is that the way you guys kind of think about things?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about 4 guys that have coached a long time and are very, very experienced guys, and we really enjoy working with each other. It's a great environment.
Was there any apprehension on your part? I mean, you've been a head coach in the NFL. You're the new guy here. You know that Luke Fickell's been here a long time. Larry Johnson's been around a long time. Was there any apprehension that, okay, how's this going to mesh? How am I going to mesh with them?
No, because I kind of knew, it wasn't like I was coming in to fix something.
Right.
It wasn't broke. You just came to work with a bunch of good people and enhance it wherever I could. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, how has it been for you? Being kind of out of it a little bit, out of the game a little bit last year? What's it been like being in the grind of coaching again?
Oh, it's not, to me, it's not a grind. I mean, I always said, beats working.
Are you having more fun this year than maybe you did as a head coach, or is it hard to compare?
I think it's different fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual meeting with players every day and having your own position group and every single day coaching. And as a head coach, I coached a lot more than maybe some hands-on, but to do what you do as an assistant coach, the relationship is certainly different. And I've enjoyed it.
And you don't have to deal with the media as much as an assistant.
I didn't say it, you did.
How close is the secondary to your vision, to Coach Combs' vision?
That's a hard question because coaches, my vision is perfection and we're never going to reach that. But this group is really performing at a high level, and this week's a huge challenge for us. Their skill is very talented.
Is there anything out of Tyler O'Connor you've seen that might cause concern for you guys?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, as a coach, there's always concern. You put the tape on, and I watch your explosive play reel, and it's 30-something plays, passes alone. So you're talking 3 explosives a game. If that happens to you, it could be 21 points. So yeah, like I said, their offense is middle of the pack or higher in every statistical category in the Big Ten. So just you don't have to say anything more than that.
Greg, you get to watch video and you get to watch practice. I'm just wondering, Pat Elflein, he's getting some pub now about possibly postseason awards, things like that. What stands out about him? You've seen guys play at the highest level. What just jumps out at you about him?
Well, what you see is a real stout football player, but then when coaching him, you know that he's the brains of the outfit, and he's the emotional leader, and he's everything. I mean, he's a huge key element of our football team, not just on the offense, but our whole team.
How good is he at just the pure art, or whatever you want to call it, skill of blocking and playing the actual game?
I think he's real good. Yeah, I think center is a position where he'll really thrive. I don't know if that's what he wants to play, but I think his coming back and doing that is really going to serve him very, very well.
Have you been pleased? I mean, it looks like this defense is making strides almost every week now. I mean, do you see that too, or how do you assess? I'm talking about Ohio State's defense. How do you assess y'all's progress at this point in the season?
The thing that was real important to us is when we hit the month of November, we had to get better. We were so young, and oftentimes teams kind of level off, and maybe when you level off, you actually go down a little bit.
Right.
What's impressed me about our guys is they've worked their tails off. We've had 8 practices now in November, real practices, and they are going like this right now, and that's the key. We just have to do that, just keep doing that.
What's driving that, do you think?
I think we've got a very motivated group of outstanding athletes that want to be great. I think it keeps coming back to bringing the right guys here.
So that sense of urgency is apparent.
To me, it
This
is.
time's running out.
They just know. We made it very clear that we have to get better in November. That was our goal, and so far we're doing that. So today, they practiced hard again today and practiced well. So we just need to keep doing that. We're plenty talented enough. We just need to make sure we keep improving.
When a team is struggling, the record is not mentioned. 3-7, lost 7 straight. It just seems like they're Michigan State. They've built a reputation over time, so that's enough.
You just throw the tape on. Like I said, offensively, they're in the top half of the Big Ten Conference in every statistical category. Some of them even higher than the top half. So, you don't have to look very long at the tape to see they're a very explosive team. And when you look at their explosive plays, both in the run game and the pass game, they're all over the tape. So we got our hands full, that's for sure.
It's a little bit of a mystery as to what went wrong for them.
Yeah, and I don't try to figure that out.
Right.
What I do is try to look at the players and look at the scheme and say, how do we stop them? And I'm concerned, so that tells you anything.
Coach, what would you think if Coach Warner tried to take Malik and maybe put him a little bit on the offensive side of the ball? Would that be something you'd be opposed to? I mean, a couple weeks ago, people were kind of, somewhat, jokingly kind of threw it out there. But if that would be something, would that be something you would kind of, want to see or not want to see?
Only if the head coach tells me that.
Okay.
I'd like to keep him where he is.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.